A pleasant day to all of you out there. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and thank you for being subscribers and viewers of Cignal TV and watching us on channels 8 and 250 here on One News PH. Thank you also for those who watch us via facebook.com/slash One News PH, and for those of you who watch our replays and also our live telecast on YouTube by entering One News PH. Thank you once again to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. Tandaan po niyan, iba na yung may fiber optic internet because it ensures quality internet service. Okay, today is November 17, 2021, Wednesday. Habit ko na po. It's been my habit to double check because from time to time, we get numbers mixed up, days mixed up, but I don't know if you feel like I do, where this has been a really slow week. Baga, ang bagal, ang tagal dumaan ng araw. But always remember, time after it has passed, you can't get it back. Today, tomorrow, you can never get back. Okay, so always value the day, and let's make the most of it by putting on our daily starter. And today's daily starter: when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. From Isaiah 60, verse 22. Yan po, no? When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And I have learned this lesson with great difficulty, with great impatience, and with lots of misgivings from every now and then, especially when I want something and I want it now. And the Lord says, when the time is right. I chose this for today, and I find it significant because everyone wants to rush, everyone wants to get things done. And of course, especially in the I wish department, we all want it now. But sometimes when we get things too early, like it says I believe in the book of Proverbs, wealth that comes too early is easily squandered. So if you are not mature enough, you are not wise enough, and suddenly you come into an inheritance, more often than not, it is squandered, it is lost. Same thing with marriages or with relationships. You jump into a relationship, and for some of us, jump into bed with someone and realize the next morning, oh my God, what did I just do? Who is this monster beside me? Or I'm so ashamed of myself. So just wait on the Lord, because as the Lord promised, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And that goes out especially for those of you who are waiting for a promotion, okay? A friend of mine in government had been waiting for at least 2 years for his promotion, and he reached out and he said, Kuya, baka matulungan mo ko. And I answered, when you ask for people to help you, you are manipulating the process. You are not waiting on the process. And when you manipulate the process, it shows your lack of faith in the Lord. So I know it is not easy to wait. I know it is difficult. And some of you are probably saying, baka hindi na ako makatagal. Wait on the Lord. Better that it comes from the Lord than from the devil. And that's our daily starter today. Okay. And let's go now to the front page of the Philippine Star. Okay, if you are a healthcare worker, nurse, doctor, medtech, etc., today you can officially line up to get your third shot or the booster shot for the COVID-19 vaccine. The Department of Health has officially announced that healthcare workers all over the Philippines, over 1 million plus, will be given their booster shot starting today, and that would be for Moderna, Pfizer, or Sinovac. Okay, and that would be covering, I suppose, even Sputnik, yeah, Sputnik light COVID-19 vaccines. Okay, so this will be given to in most hospitals, and I do hope that if you are healthcare workers, and I am appealing to those mga natitira pa na too busy to get the vaccine, please, okay? Because the DOH said anyone 18 years and above, especially those who are constantly exposed to to areas where high COVID cases exist. Yung mga ICU, mga hospital, etc., you need to get the booster shot. Okay, go back to the front page of the Philippine Star. On the header, Duterte wants age restrictions for minors in malls. President Rodrigo Duterte has urged local government units officials to come up with their respective age limits or age requirements for children to go into malls, because nagdagsaan po when alert level 2 was declared in Metro Manila. Grandparents, parents basically rush to the malls with their children or grandchildren in tow. And there was one reported incident, but it isn't scientifically determined as of yet, that a 2-year-old child contracted COVID-19. So, in reaction, okay, of course, reaction, in reaction to that lone case, the government now is being very conservative and prudent and wants age restrictions for children, which we support, of course, because here's the story, ladies and gentlemen. Wala po ito sa front page, but, deeper into these issues, as you know, in the Netherlands, okay, Holland, Netherlands, okay, they opened up the schools, etc., and they discovered, or well, they realized that it is the primary school children, yung mga nasa kinder, mga grade 1, 2, they were the ones who got COVID because they were not vaccinated. So what happened was classes had to be suspended, children had to be put in quarantine, teachers had to be placed under quarantine. The problem is those kids go home. They have homes to return to, they have parents. If in the first phase of the COVID-19 breakouts, it was the workers who were bringing COVID to their families, now it is children, unvaccinated minors, who will likely bring it home. So that is a basis for this concern. Even in China, just early this week, 1,500 students were quarantined in one province or city in China. Medyo mahina po ang memory natin sa Chinese names. But they, in their very strict anti-COVID program, the 1,500 kids, 1,500, were quarantined in dorms and hotels. And that tells us that it is now the children who are the targets of COVID-19. So let's now go back to the front page of the Philippine Star. And in the realm of politics, President Rodrigo Duterte stated, I make my own decisions. Hindi ako pinaiikutan, because retired Army Lieutenant General Parlade recently made a verbal hurl or attack at Senator Bongo and declared that the senator was running circles around the president, misleading or manipulating the president. So President Duterte, expectedly, of course, came out with the statement, I am a man, I am my own man, I have my mind intact, and I make my own decisions. And if Bongo, Senator Bongo, is constantly around because it is good for me, because he is the Senate chairman on the Committee of Health and Demographics, etc., etc. Yan na po kasi sinabi na kasi pag senador na, dun na sa Senado, wag na sa Pasig, sa Malacanang. Okay. And 849 new COVID cases as test output drops. Okay. 849 new COVID cases have cropped up in the pool of tests. However, the number of laboratories submitting test results uh, also went down. So there you go. 849 new cases, and thank God, mercifully, medyo malungkot pa rin because patay is patay, but 99 Filipinos died yesterday, and we have reached 45,000. We are now 45,808 dead Filipinos or Filipinos who have died from COVID-19. And if things keep going this way, by the week's end, it will be 46,000. So those of you who still insist, pinagpipilitang hindi nila kailangang magpabakuna, sige lang po. Kumuha na po kayo ng insurance. Bahala na kayo kasi ayan po, figures, facts, and figures do not lie. Okay, so there you go. Let's now go to the pictures, the pictures. Okay, yan po. Okay, that's in the MRT coach, and mapapansin nyo, isa na lang. Nag-iisa, bukod tangi, only one out of these 5 passengers photographed or is wearing a face shield, as the IATF, Malacanang, DOH, and DOTR announced. It is no longer mandatory to wear face shields even in public vehicles or trains. Okay. So that's the picture there. Pero mag-ingat pa rin po tayo because COVID is COVID. Okay, face shield mandate in public transport also lifted. Ayan po, nasabi na natin, it was also lifted because yesterday nagkakagulo pa sila kung pati sa public transport wala ng face shield. Okay, and here you go, a health worker joins a protest outside the Senate to demand the immediate release of benefits and larger appropriation for health in the national budget. Just comment ko lang po dyan. Wrong place kasi yung Senate po, sila yung nag-allocate based on the proposal of the national government. So it is the Department of Health, Malacanang, and DBM. That's where you should be protesting, not the Senate. Besides which, last I heard, wala naman tao doon sa loob ng Senate. Puro TV screen, puro virtual. Okay, now let's go back to the front page, lower half of the front page. Maidas goes to Supreme Court. Nograles named acting palace spokesman. Actually, it was former court administrator Jose Maidas Marquez who inspired me to come up with today's daily starter, that at the right time the Lord will fulfill it. Because if you recall, Maidas Marquez, matagal na po yang na-nominate to become a associate of the Justice of the Supreme Court. Pero ang dami pong humaharang ng gugulo ng buhay niya. But finally, in God's due time, in God's perfect time, he has been appointed as Associate Justice. So we congratulate Justice Maidas Marquez because he has done good work as the court administrator and napaka-approachable po. He was always available to help educate Filipinos in the justice system here on Agenda. In the meantime, okay, we have with, no, not with us, but we now have as a presidential spokesperson, none other than Carlo Nograles. Okay, he is, well, acting daw, no? Kailangan pa bang acting? He was the best. He was the best spokesperson under the Duterte administration. Kanya lang, yun din, na politika din. So, finally, we will hopefully be able to spend more time with spokesperson Nograles in the coming months, unlike the ex-spokesperson who never accommodated any invitation from Agenda. Well, I can't blame him. If he hates my guts, that's his problem. But that's life. Okay, let's go now to the other news in the front page. And there you go. Member of the Philippine Army Rescue Team extracts a pretend victim from an earthquake rubble scenario during a field training exercise with Japanese counterparts at Fort Bonifacio in Taguig yesterday. Baka po yung iba sa inyo, some of you might be, mocking these things, dismissive of these things. Let's just pray to God that none of us ever need rescuing in a major earthquake because, that has always been the dialogue. Sooner than later, we will have the big one. And they always say that the center will be Metro Manila. Ang problema po, the last three earthquakes ba yun is in Mindoro and in off the shore of Batangas, doon sa may bandang Kalatagan. Okay, so you never know where these earthquakes are going to shake your life up. Okay. And maliit lang po yung box, pero very intriguing. A palace lawyer visited the detained brother and sister duo Darganis according to Senator Richard Gordon. Ang balita po, the news is that a lawyer from the Office of the Special Assistant to the President, whoever that may be, visited the Dargani's siblings, Mohit and Twinkle Dargani, while under detention in the Senate. So, ang tanong po, bakit ka binibisita ng abogado ng tiga Malacanang? Okay. And last but not the least, new PNP Chief Leonardo Carlos has called on the political candidates for 2022 to lead in COVID compliance because time and again it has been observed in many of the rallies, meetings, gatherings, and motorcades that the supporters of the political candidates do not observe the health protocols. Well, a suggestion lang po, bagong chief, Leonardo Carlos, perhaps you should tighten the belt on these political activities. No compliance, no activity. Okay? So, let's now go to our main agenda for today. And here is another person who has benefited. I'm not mocking him. I'm not laughing. May naaliw ako kasi sabi nga, napaka-timing ng ating daily starter. In the right time, I will fulfill it. Our guest for today is a lawyer and is with the Metro Manila Development Authority. Kumbaga, quiet na nagtatrabaho. Batang-bata, very young. Imagine he suddenly becomes the general manager of the MMDA. He graduated with Bachelor of Science in Commerce, major in Accountancy in San Beda College. Of course, San Beda. Okay. Bachelor of Laws, San Beda College. Worked with the prestigious accounting firm Sisip Gores Velayo and Company. Let's welcome the new, sandali, meron po pala. Marami na palang experience itong batang to. Prior to this, he served with the legislative branch of the government as the chief political officer of Senator Pia Cayetano and former deputy chief of staff of Senator Jambi Madrigal, none other than the new general manager of MMDA, Attorney Romando Artes. Good morning, GM.
Good morning, Cito.
Medyo kasi nung nakita ko kanina, nagbi-video test kayo kanina, sabi ko, ang bata naman to. Attorney, ilang taong ka na ba?
I'm 49 years old na.
Sinabi na nga ba, talagang ang laki ng laktaw nating dalawa. But anyway, congratulations. You are not someone who creates up a lot of stir, hindi ka maingay na tao, and yet quietly you have assumed the position of GM. Now, I don't know how long you have been with the MMDA, but are you well versed with the operations? How long have you been with the MMDA?
I've been with the MMDA for 4.5 years. I joined MMDA together with Chairman Lim, who recruited me to join him as the Finance and Administration Head.
Because you came from Sisip Gores Belayo.
Yes,
So,
I'm a certified public accountant, Cito.
okay. Now, so you came in to look at the finance and ano yung sabi mo isa? Finance and
Administration.
administration. Okay. Now, how difficult of a job was that? Because, I mean, not many of us ever connect the word finance. Perhaps administration, that's already a humongous job. But finance, what sort of finance are we talking about as far as MMDA is concerned?
Finance deals primarily with the budget, the expenditures, and the bookkeeping of MMDA, particularly the preparation of financial statements. And when we joined MMDA, the personnel there are quite technical and good, but I think what's lacking is the guidance. So in the first 2 years, we basically overhaul the system, improve on the system. During my tenure as finance and admin head, we're able to get ISO certification, and we're able to get unqualified opinion with our audit from COA for the last 2 years, Cito. So it means that we're able to really improve on our system insofar as finance is concerned.
Well, congratulations, GM, because I do remember that in the past, di naman controversial, pero na-flag din yung MMDA in the past many years. And I suppose it is simply because of failure to streamline the process. Kumbaga, nasa reporting ang problema. Now, may kinikita ba ang MMDA?
Yes, we have our own income. Aside from the general budget coming from the General Appropriations Act, we also have our local income coming from our ERA share from the local government units of NCR, as well as our own income from tickets, fees, and fines, Cito.
Okay, I'm curious, Jim, yung mga income from tickets and fines, etc. Magkanong pera ang kinikita ng MMDA sa kabalastugan ng mga driver at saka mga tao sa Metro Manila?
It's still a lot. But I don't have the figures now, but it's a lot. I can
Are
say
we talking about 100 million a year? O wala naman?
a little less than 100 million a year. I think.
Okay, so it's still a lot of money that is generated from the lack of discipline
Yes.
or ignorance of many motorists and including residents, because it's not just motor vehicle related yung mga fines niyo, di ba? Pati sa
Yes.
littering.
Littering and jaywalking, Sito.
Okay. Awa naman ng Diyos hindi pa ako nagko-contribute diyan sa jaywalking kasi 'pag nag-contribute ako diyan, eh, baka kailangan magpatingin na ako. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Attorney Artes, now, you come in now as the general manager. How does your life change from finance and administration? Because, when you think administration, yan yung mga, human rights, sorry, human resources, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Now, how does your life change becoming the GM?
It's additional work for me now because before, as you've said, sa finance and admin lang ako. But now I'm still handling both. So as the new general manager, I'm also involved in the operations now, supervising the operations and all other departments of the agency. So right now I'm doing both work. So it's a little bit um, stressful now as compared before because handling the admin and finance for the last 4 years, I can say I'm quite familiar with the job. But now it's quite different and it's two jobs in one.
Okay,
So
I'm curious, Attorney Artes, because many people who come into government from private sector, first they do so kasi hindi makatanggi. They couldn't refuse a mentor, a boss, or someone or a relative. And in your case, you had Danny Lim who brought you in. Now, unang-una, paano mo ba nakilala si Sir Danny Lim?
I used to be the election lawyer of Ram Party List when they ran in 2016.
But PMAyer ka ba?
Hindi po.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was
Chine-check ko lang.
chosen as their lawyer. And in
Mhm.
fact, when um, Chairman Lim was invited by the president to be the MMDA chair, uh, I declined Chairman Lim twice. But he really asked for my help because they don't have a person who will can handle the finance and administration aspect of MMDA.
Mhm.
So um, to be honest, I declined twice until
Mhm.
he talked to me heart to heart and he said, "Kailangan kita, tulungan mo ako." So
Heart to heart or at gunpoint? Kumbaga
hindi naman,
desperado na ako, "Bata, sasama ka ba o hindi?"
hindi naman. He convinced me
Okay.
with patriotic talks and all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he must have listened very well when he was being taught SciWar in PMA. Eh, alam mo
Maybe.
naman, we respect Danny Lim. We both, you and me together. Now, the question here is, how different is it working at Sisip Gores Velayo and work and running the MMDA finance? Binabalik-balikan ko lang, no, kasi I'm trying to ask questions that many viewers would be, they're curious but never really hear anyone here talk about it.
I just stayed in SGB for one busy season, but the work there is completely different because my work there is as an staff auditor. So we go to a company, audit the books, etc. Here, you're the one handling the finance per se. So I'm on the other side instead of audit.
Mhm.
I'm the one doing the budget of the agency, expenditures, bookkeeping, preparing financial statements. So it's quite different. And I can say that it's also different in the sense that work in SGB is very, very fast paced because there are deadlines, especially for tax filing purposes. So
Yeah.
you have to finish the audit before April 15. So after Christmas or even Christmas time, we will work full time doing inventories and all. Here in government, it's more um, routinary because the transaction is also routinary, but there are a lot of transactions and recordings and assets and personnel because here in MMDA we have about 8,000 employees, Cito. So
Mhm.
the preparation of payroll alone will take a lot of time.
8,000, does that mean na anong tawag mo? Naku, talaga tumatanda na Kuya Sito mo, sir. Nagbawas kayo ng tao? Because I remember there was a time that MMDA had about 10,000 plus employees.
Yes, traffic enforcers alone during the time of Chairman Lim were able to terminate about 1,000 traffic enforcers for anomalies, corruption. So we really, during our first year alone, we really did some cleansing of sorts,
Mhm.
Sito. So we're able to root out yung mga corrupt employees talaga, particularly enforcers. There are some even administrative personnel that we were caught charging fees for processing of appointments, renewal of job order contracts. So we're able to file cases against them, and most of them were terminated or resigned or went up able Sito.
Mhm. Okay, now, normally when a boss leaves the government, okay, there is the policy of coterminus. Sadly, Danny Lim checked out sooner than everybody expected. He passed away. He died untimely. But what convinced you to stay? Kasi parang, hoy, wala na si boss, balik na ako sa private practice para kumita naman ako, because I'm sure, you're not making a lot of money work, or nabago na rin ba yung pay scale ng MMDA to make it at least fair.
In so far as pay scale, we're with the government standardization law. So we have our, depending on the position, our pay grade is consistent with the standard salaries for all
Mm.
employees. Um, Before the assumption of office of Chairman Benhur Abalos, um, his staff called me and
Mm.
asked me to stay with MMDA. He said chairman will talk to me as soon as he assumes office, which he did. On his first day of in office, he talked to me and discussed things with me. So I think they did some background checking naman, and I think I passed the scrutiny, Sito.
Okay, but what alignment did you have with the plans of Chairman Abalos that convinced you to stay? Kasi with Danny Lim, there was the relationship. You were a lawyer, professional relationship, and I would assume magkakilala na kayo. But with Benhar Abalos, it would purely be on the basis of agenda, if you don't mind my saying. But what was the alignment?
Basically, I think what convinced me is that first, he only brought about, I think, three staff, and retained all the um, staff that Chairman Lim brought in. So I think what convinced me is that he said that he will continue the programs and projects of Chairman Danny Lim, and that based on his observation, we're doing a very good job because, as you know, his wife is the mayor of Mandaluyong City, who's a
Mm,
member of the Metro Manila Council, and we regularly meet with the Metro Manila mayors, including Mayor Menchi. And
mm.
he said that based on his observation and discussions with Mayor Menchi, that the team of Chairman Danny Lim is doing a very good job, and that he will retain all of us, and will bring in only his personal lawyer, and he brought basically two lawyers and a messenger. So that's it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So what directions are you guys taking now? Because Danny Lim was I mean, I don't want to be cliche about it, pero military ang kanyang perspective, structure, order, discipline. And Benhar Abalos is human relations, political engagement, political correctness, and you are a numbers guy. Although you were a political officer ni Pia Cayetano, from what I see here, you were the chief political officer of Senator Pia Cayetano, and with also Jambi Madrigal. What are you taking from those jobs into this job?
Actually, it's not difficult for me to adjust because I also have experience in local government. I used to work
Oh.
as city legal of Binyan City, and also from time to time city accountant. So the leadership style of Chairman Benhur Abalos is um, aligned with his work as a former local chief executive. So I don't have difficulty adjusting insofar as my work relationship with him is concerned.
Mm,
So it's a bit, as you've said, not that structured as compared to Chairman Lim, but um, I can say that Chairman Benhur Abalos is a dreamer. He wants work done fast.
mhm,
Um, it's quite challenging, but it's also rewarding because when you finish a project or a plan that you envision, it's really rewarding. Like for example, Cito, we met with some foreign guys who are environmentalists that were saying, and they said that plastics and other garbages usually ends up in the ocean. He asked me to find a way to make some contraptions so that this trash will not go to the ocean.
mm.
Uh, and in consultation with our engineers, we put trash traps in various esteros
Uh-huh.
around Metro Manila so that the trash um, can be trapped there, and
Mhm.
with the our personnel will get it from there so that it will not end up in rivers and eventually in our ocean.
Okay.
So able to put up around 29 trash traps na in various esteros.
Okay.
And we did that in almost 2 months only. So
Okay. So
you
yun yung parang mga net na nasa loob ng mga sa mga manholes or areas where doon dumadalo yung tubig
yes,
o napupunta. Okay.
yes,
Attorney,
mahaba.
let's go for a quick break, and when we return, I just want to get some of the major plans of the MMDA and yung role reversal ng mga leadership sa MMDA, because before the general manager was the face of MMDA, and the chairman was quiet in the background. Now you have a role reversal. So let's go for a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll be back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. And before we continue, I just want to do a shout out to all our brothers and sisters in the Lord in the various Every Nation Victory Christian Fellowship churches all over the country and abroad na nanunood po sa atin. And of course, my working friends, mga nagtatrabaho dyan po sa BMEG where with whom I join every now and then to be a volunteer lecturer on hog racing, and sana dumating ang panahon I can also lecture on chicken or poultry or game fowl. But hello to all mga kabimegs, and now let's go back to our guest for today, our first guest for today, chairman of the MMDA and well, yeah, no, no,
General
GM.
Manager.
Nalilito na ako. General
Pinamutol mo na
Manager.
po.
General Manager of the MMDA, Attorney Romando Artes. Because, that's what I was talking about before we went into the break, Attorney. Because in the past, the GM, siya yung kilala eh. Past general manager, sila yung laging nagsasalita. Especially during the time of Chairman Danny Lim. But now, you have a very adept, very vocal chairman in the person of Benhar Abalos. Ikaw naman mukhang hindi ka mahilig camera, ano?
No. In the past 4 years, I'm usually nasa background lang. I mean, nasa backstage lang doing
Okay.
the
Well,
network.
you have no choice this morning, Attorney Arte. So I'm going to have to ask you, and if you don't mind, what are the major projects for of the MMDA in the last remaining 8 months? 8 months na lang yata ang natitira sa Duterte administration. I don't know if you guys are you now organic, or you still
Co-terminus pa rin with the president.
coterminous pa rin with the president. Okay, so what will be the major projects or concentration of MMDA for the next 8 months?
For the next 8 months, we're launching 17 pocket parks. We're developing pocket parks in every city within Metro Manila. We budgeted around 20 million in each city or in one municipality. We're also doing finishing our new MMDA building, which will be completed by March. We're
Mm-hmm.
also doing another sewerage treatment plant in Ross Boulevard. This is in line with the president's vision to make the Manila Bay swimmable.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Once we finish it, we'll be able to achieve that. What else? And there are a lot of constructions and rehabilitations of our pumping station so that we'll be able to minimize flooding within Metro Manila. And if you will notice, we launch the, if you pass by EDSA at night, it's quite bright now. That's a locally funded project of MMDA to put up solar street lights in the whole stretch of EDSA.
Ay,
So we'll be able.
congratulations. Ay, congratulations. Kasi yan po ang pinupush ko. I've been pushing for that and telling many friends, install solar lights. Well, initially, it is it's pricey initially. Pero when you put the cost of the bulb, the socket, the post, etc., pareho lang din ang cost.
Yes,
Mas
in the
mura
long
pa
run.
in the long run, mas mura.
Yes, and one of the difficulties in putting up yung regular street light is that the wires are usually stolen. Lagi po
At
yung
saka,
nawawala.
nagbabayad din kayo ng kuryente, correct?
And we save on up on electricity.
Ayun, okay.
And I
Now,
think it's one of the major reasons why hindi nakakabitan ng electricity kasi usually when you put up street lights, you have to turn it over to the local government who will
mhm.
shoulder the cost of the electricity. So minsan nagtuturuan talaga kung sino magbabayad. That's why we decided to put up solar street lights along EDSA. That's around 2,300 um, solar street lights. So we'll be able to finish that by December. We're
Mhm.
70% complete na. So by Christmas time, the EDSA, the whole stretch of EDSA will be really bright. I think
Okay.
it's commensurate with the our hope that we'll have a bright Christmas this year.
Okay. GM, suggestion lang po, no, kung pwede, pa-audit nyo raw yung mga parks na sa iba-ibang barangay, cities in Metro Manila. Although it may not really be under your control,
It's
but you
to the
could
LGU.
yeah,
It's
but
to
you
the
could
LGU.
have them audited kasi may mga parks daw na ginastusan, hindi naman pinapapasok ang mga tao. Masyadong maraming, parang nagiging parang clubs,
Mm.
nagiging clubs yung mga park or for only for exclusive use of certain groups in the community. Eh ito, may mga nagsusumbong dito. Pakitingnan para
Yeah,
raw ma-take.
we'll
Sir,
bring it up to the attention of the mayors, Sito.
okay. And last question ko na lang, GM, what about coding? Kasi ang dami ng umaangal sa traffic. Ako, nasa Lipa, Batangas, ayoko nang pumunta sa Metro Manila because just to go down there is just so much hassle with the traffic. Are you going to implement the coding system again?
It's currently being studied. Our traffic engineering center is currently closely monitoring the traffic situation. Pre-pandemic, our average travel time in EDSA is about 11 kilometers an hour. Under the previous restriction, it's at 23 kilometers an hour. When we downgraded to alert level 2, the travel time now it's around 19 kilometers an hour, which is quite fast compared to the pre-pandemic level. But we expect it to move slower. But I think it's still not necessary, considering also that the public transportation now is not yet normal. We're at 70% capacity and the routes are not all open. But we are really monitoring the situation, and if we're going down near the pre-pandemic level of the average speed of vehicles, we might. Chairman Abalos is considering bringing back the number coding scheme with a twist, probably, because we noticed that heavy volume of vehicles occur during rush hour, meaning
Mhm.
between 5 to 7 in the morning or 6 to 8 in the morning and 5 to 8 o'clock in the afternoon or evening. So
Ah,
if we ever we bring back the number coding scheme, it will be during, we're studying that during that,
rush hour.
yeah, yes, during rush hour only.
Okay, now, may mga nagpapatanong dito, tuloy pa po ba yung fluvial parade ng Metro Manila Film Fest sa Pasig River? Or meron din bang Metro Manila Film Festival parade? Kasi, sorry, GM, wala na. I'm so out of the loop as far as those things are concerned.
Yes, definitely the Metro Manila Film Festival will push through, and we're really expecting it to be shown in cinemas. Insofar as the Fluvial Parade is concerned, so far we're pushing ahead with it. In fact, we had a meeting yesterday, our parade committee of MMFF, studying on how to go about it. We have ferry boats to use. We have new
Mhm.
ferry boats to use for that. We're just preparing or planning on how to go about it, but definitely it will push through. Cito.
Okay, now, paki-explain lang, Jim. If it pushes through, where will it start, and how long will the route be, and how many boats will be there? Will there be? Kasi there's so many of us who never got out, who haven't been outside the house for for a year and a half. Ako naman, nagtago na ako sa Batangas. So I really have no idea. I only go back and forth to Manila. But how is that going to happen? Pasig
Um,
River.
it will cover the whole stretch of Pasig River from end to end. Farthest station from Taguig, it will pass by Mandaluyong, Pasig, Manila, and I think, if I remember it right, um, it's either Taguig or I mean Quezon City or San Juan that it will pass. It will pass five cities in Metro Manila. We have different stations where we'll identify the biggest station where the participants will go on board our ferries, and then it will end up in Manila and have the traditional um, promotion
Mm.
in somewhere in Intramuros or in Loton. So we have new boats. The we have 8 entries. Will allow them to decorate the ferries. They will the stars will board the boat, and then we'll have a fluvial parade in the whole stretch of Pasig River.
Will the fluvial parade be a paano ko ba sasabihin yun? Continuing will travel continuously or will they make stops in the different ferry stations or select points
Uh,
for
it's it's still being planned because we want to involve the local government of each cities that will pass through. We're planning to invite
nako?
them to be in our different ferry stations within their locality. It's either we
Uh-huh.
stop or for the stars to alight, or we'll just stop in front of the station. Wave. We're still on the planning stage because this is the first time that will be holding the Parada ng Artista in the Pasig River. So this is
Mm.
another innovation, which was the idea of the chairman, because in Mandaluyong they also have this fluvial parade.
Yeah, kasi the reason sorry I'm making the interview longer because it's a very interesting
Yes,
concept. I haven't heard about it in the past. So it might stop in the various points and where the local government will be playing host kahit
yes,
na for a short
short
period.
time. Yes,
So kada
because before
stopod
Chito,
yeah.
we identify as a host city. The local government official usually sends off the parade. So he will signal the start of the parade, and the
Mhm.
parade will pass by a stage where the local government official and MMDA officials are there. This time, since we will be traversing five cities, so we're planning to invite the local government officials to be in our ferry stations within that locality. And as I've said, we're still planning if the ferry will approach the station for the stars to go on and off the station, or just stop and wave. So we're still planning it, and we'll definitely inform the public whatever we come up with.
Nako,
Kasi,
baka mabuti pa andun na lang sila sa ferry boat kasi baka may matapilok, malaglag sa Pasig
yes,
River,
yes. We're also
magka-problema.
considering the safety, Sita. Definitely, we're considering
Magka-problem.
the safety of the stars. So, as I've said, this is the first time that be doing the parade of stars in a river.
Yeah.
So we're taking all the precautions that is
Ba
necessary to protect the
baka
participants.
biglang magkaroon ka ng remake ng Jezebel.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely
Now
will take precautions naman.
okay,
Sita.
now, while you were telling us about this novel idea of the chairman na magkaroon ng fluvial parade, there are still those people who are expecting to see yung mga yung the traditional motorcade.
Yeah.
Will you disembark in Manila and then connect it with a motorcade, or will there be a separate motorcade?
No separate motorcade. This fluvial parade will take the place of the traditional motorcade, but we'll still put up a stage at the end point where the stars will promote their movies and will
Mhm.
accommodate viewers based on the capacity of the area. And we tied up with Facebook so that it will be live on Facebook.
Yun. Okay, because that's the new adaptation. Because I was worried na, of course, we will always be concerned about mass gatherings and COVID-19. So
That's
there will
what we
be a
are trying to
limited.
avoid, Sito.
Mm,
The crowding and the violation of safety protocols. We thought of this because the Pasig River stretches for a long how many kilometers, and
mhm.
this will stretch or disperse the people to different places instead of converging to a single road.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely coordinate with the various local government units so that these strategic places where you can watch, we can identify the strategic places where people can watch and maintain social distancing and health and safety protocols.
What
It's a
about
bit, it's a
yeah?
bit
What about security? Yeah. Go
security
ahead.
as well. Security as well. We'll coordinate definitely with the various local government units, not just for health and safety protocols, but security as well.
Yeah, kasi alam mo, I remember many years ago, Princess Punsalan told me when she was a kontrabida in a teleserye na
It was,
montik na siyang masabunutan sa mall. Kanya when we went to Pangasinan, ako bodyguard.
yeah.
And but in a fluvial parade, baka mamaya merong tumirador o gumamit ng pardigones diyan sa mga kontrabida sa fluvial parade.
Yes, we usually deploy all our traffic enforcers, and we have volunteer groups that participates in our event. Before we usually surround the float with people
Mhm.
because sometimes may mga tao na biglang pumupunta or lumalapit. So that's
Mhm.
why we have marshals to guard the float so that there will be no
Aba, baka
accidents.
makakalapit lang sila kung may pakpak sila, pero yung
Yes, yes,
tirador ang alalahanin natin.
yes.
Anyway, GM, last question na lang. What's the situation regarding the age limit for minors in malls? Because the president directed the order or the suggestion to LGUs, but in Metro Manila, it has to be with the MMDA. What's the direction there?
Yesterday, the technical working group, headed by Director Balboa of DOH and with the various city health officers and some experts, pediatricians, convened. They already made some recommendations, which will be discussed with the Metro Manila Council soon. We'll just have to fine tune the recommendations, and
Mhm.
we're currently
And
drafting the Metro
is there
Manila.
a number we're talking about or an age we're talking about? Could you share it with us?
I haven't seen the recommendations of
Mm.
the technical working group, but definitely we'll have to discuss it first with the Metro Manila mayors before coming up with a statement regarding it. Because as you've noticed, the Metro Manila mayors usually vote as one. We
Mhm.
implement policy as one. So, as a matter of policy, we don't want to preempt the decision of the Metro Manila mayors, and we usually discuss it first, come up with the signed resolution before announcing any policy. Sito.
Okay, well, I respect that, and thank you for being honest about it, and thank you for your time today, GM Artes, and we wish you all the best, and
Thank you.
please make sure you stay in shape, you stay healthy, stay safe, because I know that job is going to be very
Yes.
demanding. Have
Yes.
a good day.
Thank, Thank you very much and have a good day, Sita. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And that's attorney Romando Artes, the new general manager of the MMDA. And here I leave you a blessing. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. So hindi lang po katawan, pati po yung espiritu. Always be mindful of your spiritual walk, your personal relationship with the Lord. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you and asking you to please continue watching One News PH. Have a good day. God bless you.